in terms of normalcy, this summer has been as normal as we've had in a couple of years. How much more prepared, I guess, for lack of a better word, you feel going into this year, just having seen these guys for the last couple of months?
Oh, this is awesome. I mean, this is the first time we've had this feeling in 2 years. That first day of practice, all the team building, the things we were able to get accomplished this summer with our 9 returning players and 5 newcomers. It's been a great off season. So thrilled about the opportunity to get the practice season started up today. Hard to believe, already 6 weeks out from opening night.
From your perspective, did the guys maybe appreciate the summer work maybe more than in years past?
I think so. I mean, I think you look across the country. I mean, so many things maybe took for granted. But no, I think it's that'd be a good way of putting it. I think guys appreciate the opportunity to build a team. And that takes time. And you have to be intentional in how you go about doing it. You have to invest a lot of time in those relationships. I think our guys have done a great job. It was an awesome summer. The 8 weeks we had our guys here. Worked extremely hard. I thought Coach Puckett did a tremendous job in the weight room. And I think our leadership is continuing to improve on a daily basis.
What's the thing that you look most forward to this coming season?
Oh, I think the atmosphere that we'll have here at the CFSB Center, one of the great home courts in all of college basketball, going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, we know the tradition here at Murray State, the passionate, loyal fan base. To see them back here in the arena, also traveling with us on the road, is probably what I'm most looking forward to.
In terms of the way last year went, and not the way anyone certainly wanted
Sure.
to, but was there any sort of maybe purposeful course correction in culture or whatever, maybe things had slipped a little bit, or is it just kind of one of those, we're just going to pretend last year didn't happen?
Well, I don't think you pretend it didn't happen. I think whether you have a successful season or a disappointing one, regardless of circumstances, there are a lot of lessons to be learned, both on and off the court. So I think we were able to learn a lot from the COVID year. Certainly results disappointing, as I mentioned, regardless of circumstance. But, I buried that a long time ago. We've been really excited about the roster we've been able to put together. I think we have great talent. Now we have to build a team. And I talked earlier about, my excitement to see the atmosphere back here in the arena this year. But my favorite part of the job is taking these talented individuals and building a team. And I think we have a great opportunity to do special things this year.
What are the primary lessons that you took from last year's team, both positive and negative things you're translating?
I really hadn't thought about it in so long. I couldn't tell you. I'm just worried about coaching our team. This is a talented group of individuals. It's our job to build them into a team. I think that starts by having great leadership. We have experience on our roster this year. And so that's been my approach the entire time. I think, I only get to live one time, so I'm not going to live in the past, the good times or the bad. We're moving forward and really excited about the opportunities ahead for this year's team.
Speaking of leadership, you added a new member to your staff, Marcus Brown, who has his number in this Raptors and has a lot of head coaching experience in the high school ranks. What does he bring to your staff now that he's here?
Well, it's been a great addition to our program. Thrilled with our coaching staff. But Coach Brown obviously has done everything a player here would dream of doing. 2-time player of the year in our league, multiple NCAA tournaments, multiple championships, second-round NBA draft pick, an All-American, all-time leading American scorer in the history of the Euro League. I could go on and on. So they have a great mentor that they can learn from and gather and gain wisdom and knowledge from. And then from my standpoint, Coach Brown's also been very successful in making the transition from player to coach. He's been a part of a state championship team that he built. And so his wisdom and knowledge from his many years in the game at the highest level is going to benefit everybody in the program. And I think the final piece that's so important there is obviously he has a great love and passion for Murray State. And I think that shows every day in how he approaches the job.
Talk about your new class of incoming transfers. You bring a lot of experience, a lot of games played. How do you feel they're going to fit into your team this year?
Well, I think you start with the older guys, Carter Collins, 2 years, last 2 years, back-to-back, double-figure score in the Atlantic 10. Comes from a great program at Davidson. Statistics speak for themselves, but I think he brings a lot of intangibles too. He's a relentless worker, wants to see Murray State have great success. I think he's going to be a great impact player for us. We've had a Jordan Skipper Brown, who's also a fifth-year senior. The last month and a half of the season a year ago, 14 points, 8 rebounds a game. Monster athlete. I think he'll really impact our front court. As far as other transfers, Trey Hannibal, be a sophomore from South Carolina. Looks like a middle linebacker playing basketball, really athletic, physical, and tough. I think he's going to make a big impact on our program. DJ Burns had great success at Southern University, 6'7", remind our fans a lot of Anthony Smith, just a hard-playing, hard-working guy. And then Elijah Farr, 6'8", about 240, can really shoot the three. He was a junior college All-American a year ago. So I think we were able to address a lot of needs in the program with that recruiting class.
In terms of bringing in new guys, JUCO guys aren't out of the. That tends to happen a lot. You don't necessarily bring in D1 transfers. That's something you've done a lot, but to have so many come in and they can play right away, does it, from your mindset, is there an expectation that maybe getting around the learning curve of the JUCO to D1 jump is always a transition time, but maybe like, hey, that part's out of it. We just kind of have to get you to learn the racer way and there we go?
I think so. We spent a lot of time talking about that. How do we fast track team chemistry? How do we fast track the leadership development in our program, knowledge of offensive and defensive systems and so forth? I think it just takes a time investment on the part of the coaching staff and a willingness and a want to from the players to learn and develop quickly. That's the bottom line. When you take a guy into your program like Carter Collins, Jordan Skipper Brown, and basically he'll be here for 8 months. So it doesn't do us any good for them to figure it out on February 15th. It's our job to have them ready to go at the start of November when we open the season.
From staff development standpoint, you've had such consistency for the last handful of years, and now obviously Shane's gone and there's some pieces moving around, but we talk about team building all the time. How do you focus on staff building to try to get you guys cohesive?
Well, I think it's really important. Before you can have great team chemistry, you have to have excellent chemistry within your staff. And I think, growing up right by Knoxville, always following Coach Pat Summit, I always remember her interviews where she would say, you win in life with great people. And that's where she started everything she did to build that program. I agree with that 100%. We have great people on our coaching staff, great people in our program, and that's how we'll continue to build on the tradition here at Murray State.
My last question, I guess just big picture, being in this league as long as you have seen the shuffling that's going on with so many schools. Just your thoughts from 30,000 feet of the turnover that's going on in the league right now.
Yeah, season number 11 for me here. I've been really blessed at Murray State. It's been an incredible decade of success for the league. Obviously, this offseason, there's been a lot of movement. You can see it a variety of different ways. For me, I look at it as great opportunities ahead for Murray State. Look forward to what the future holds. But for the time being, my focus will be 100% on how do we build the best Murray State basketball team for 2021-22.